A High Street staple prepares for one last weekend.
International students explore Pennsylvania.
And we bring you an exclusive one-on-one interview with the new men's basketball head coach. That's all right here on Lantern News Now. Welcome back, Buckeyes. I'm Elizabeth Suarez.
And I'm Jamila Muhammad. You're watching Lantern News Now. After about 2 years of the Save Twos movement, the popular High Street bar Twos will be opening its doors one last time on Monday. We spoke with bar owner Scott Ellsworth to learn more about the history of the iconic bar and what it means to him to be one of the last local businesses on High Street.
So I called the guy who owned this bar at the time, Mike Hobbs. He's a family friend of ours, and I told him I was thinking about buying a bar down in Grove City where I lived at the time. He's like, "No, man, buy twos," and I'm like, "I can't afford twos." He's like, "Well, I'll get you a price that I'll give it to you for a price you just need to go find the money." So we put up our house, we put up my wife's retirement, our savings, everything we had. So to buy this little shithole dive bar on campus, and it was 2007 August, and it was dead. I mean, this was a ghost town down here. So it probably took 2 years, 3 years of being down here constantly, interacting with customers, shooting pool, to finally get it up to where it was going, and then it just exploded. And people, they love us, and they love us because we're real, and they love us because we're a small business. They love us because, they love my staff, they see my kids on Instagram, like we're a real bar, and you can't fake that, and college kids see it and they get it.
For those who are still looking for a bar with the Twos feel, Threes Above High is open on the corner of Norwich and High Street.
Over fall break, 20 American students and 20 international students headed to Philadelphia with the Office of International Affairs and the Office of Diversity and Inclusion. The trip aimed to bridge international and domestic student relations. Lantern TV's Jamila Muhammad was there and brings us more.
The Office of International Affairs and Office of Diversity and Inclusion provided a trip to Philadelphia for 40 Ohio State students over fall break.
So we select students for the trip through a lottery system. So at probably early in each semester, fall and spring, we'll put out in our newsletters and on our social media and websites, both through the Office of International Affairs and through Office of Diversity and Inclusion, that the lottery's open. You can enter online, just some basic information. And then we randomly select 40 students, half international and half domestic students, and take it from there. So just kind of luck of the draw. We cover the costs for transportation, for housing, for a lot of the meals, and for all the admission fees to any of the group events that we do. So it's very affordable for students.
The purpose of the trip is to bridge relationships between international and domestic students. I spoke with Yodai Tanaka, an international student from Japan, and Craig Bosley, a domestic student, about their expectations.
We are going to Gettysburg during this trip, and Gettysburg's battle is very important in both politically and historically for American history.
The students, domestic and international, that are in this trip going to Philadelphia are all from different kind of backgrounds and places that I've even encountered. But it seems like majority are not from Asia, East Asia specifically, and majority are not white. So I'm really, really excited.
After a 6-hour bus ride, we finally arrived in Pennsylvania. There, we visited Gettysburg, made pretzels and liddits, and saw the Liberty Bell in Philadelphia. The evenings would conclude with conversation and reflection about the different sights seen that day. Once we arrived back in Columbus, I was able to catch up with Tanaka to see how he benefited most from the trip.
During this trip, through the dialogue, I could just ask whatever I wanted to, and they answered it. So it was very nice.
Thanks to OIA and ODI, the conversation and experiences through the trip would allow students here at OSU to connect and understand one another a little bit more than before. Jamila Muhammad, Lantern TV. You've probably seen some furry faces around campus and wanted to pet them, but these dogs are training for important jobs. Lantern TV reporter Katie Hamilton explains what their roles will be after life on campus.
You may have noticed the growing presence of service dogs on campus. You may not know why they're here or what they do. Four Paws for Ability is an organization that trains service dogs for veterans and children with special needs. While the club on campus's purpose is to socialize the young puppies, they focus largely on educating the public on service dogs and their organization. Puppies like Greta here are trained on campus for around 6 months by student handlers. They then go on to advanced training in Xenia, Ohio. It's hard to let these dogs go, but the rewarding experience makes it all worth it.
It's a pretty emotional journey seeing her graduate and meet the girl she would actually be helping. It's going to change this child's life. And so you're just so happy for them.
Another four-legged friendly club, Pets for Vets, teamed up with Four Paws to give veterans on campus such as Kevin Dixon an opportunity to spend some time with specially trained canines.
When the dog comes in, everybody's like, oh my God, there's a dog. And then they just, pounce and start playing with the dog. Definitely frees up some stress when the dog's around.
While Pets for Vets does not supply service dogs, they raise money to provide local vets suffering from PTSD with a match, otherwise known as a companion animal. These animals are from the shelter and go through 8 to 16 weeks of training to provide those veterans with the love and support they need.
Just to see how I can bring animals to the veterans and help both of them at one time, it'll always have a special place in my heart. You're not only saving a dog's life, but you're saving a human's too.
For Lantern TV, Katie Hamilton.
Those dogs were just adorable, don't you think?
Yes, they were. They were just so cute and adorable and just so fluffy. So cute.
I love it. So now let's throw it over to James and Alicia for an exclusive interview with men's basketball head coach Chris Holtmann.
Thanks, Elizabeth and Jamila. We were able to sit down with new Ohio State men's basketball head coach Chris Holtmann in a Lantern exclusive interview. Holtmann and the Buckeyes are gearing up for the season and looking to prove some naysayers wrong.
When I first took the job and I was on the road in July, I had a Big Ten coach come to me and say, hey, you got to get the Schottenstein Center rocking again because it hadn't been rocking the last few years. And, we've got a responsibility as a team to play in a way that would engage our fan bases, certainly engage our students, which is incredibly important. The coach made mention of that is, hey, you have to get the students back involved. And I'm just hoping that we can play in a way where our students kind of have a great time watching us, want to come out and support us, and have an appreciation for how we play.
The Buckeyes are coming off a season of disappointment, and while most outside of their program see it as a rebuilding year, they aren't ready to say that quite yet.
We're not discarding this year as kind of a throwaway year in any way. We are pouring ourselves in to this team and this year, and hope that will pay dividends because I think we have really, really good guys, and I think the students that know our guys know this. They're good guys. They are high-level people, and they deserve our very best as a coaching staff.
Tomorrow, the number 6 Buckeyes will take on the number 2 Nittany Lions for one of the most anticipated games this season. The Buckeyes are bringing out all new uniforms and are encouraging fans to wear black for a blackout in the shoe. ESPN College Game Day will be outside St. John Arena at 9 a.m. and kickoff is at 3:30. Now let's take a look at the weather for tomorrow's big matchup against Penn State.
Thank you. Now, I'm meteorologist Grace Devine here at Lantern TV to give you your weather. Outside today, it's quite sunny. We're seeing a temperature of 66 degrees, as well as the humidity is down at 49%, so it's quite cool out there. Along with that wind at 15 miles per hour, that is also keeping us very nice and cool today. We'll see it up to a high of 69 for today, and as we continue on through later today, we'll see clouds roll in, and there will be rain tonight and through Saturday morning. And on Sunday, those clouds will stick around, and it will remain pretty cool this weekend, remaining in the mid-40s for us. And like I said, tonight we're going to see that rain come on in. We'll see an accumulation of less than 1 inch though, so don't be too worried about getting too much rain. You probably are more worried about the rain that we'll be seeing tomorrow because we have the Penn State game. At 10 a.m., it says it's going to be a slight chance of rain, about 40%. So I do not personally believe that it will be raining that much that early in the day, and I do not believe they'll be raining during the game, since at 2 p.m. it will be cloudy, and as well as later in the day it will continue to be just cloudy, no more rain. It is going to be quite cool out there, remaining in the 40s throughout all of tomorrow. Looking more into next week, we're going to see the clouds go away, and on Monday and Tuesday it'll be quite sunny in the 50s, remaining quite cool. But as we continue on through later on in the week, we'll see the clouds roll in and some rain is expected. So come back here next Friday to find out more about the weather.
The Ohio State women's volleyball team took on Michigan Sunday at St. John Arena. At the start of set 1, the Buckeyes and Wolverines were battling back and forth with 15 highs and 4 lead changes. The Wolverines gained their composure and ended up winning set 1, 25-23. Michigan took an early lead in the second set, forcing Ohio State to call a timeout. The Buckeyes came out strong out of the timeout with an 8-1 run. The Wolverines, however, would score the final 5 points, giving them a 2-set lead on Ohio State. OSU outside hitter Ashley Wentz tied her career high with 18 kills in the game, including a kill in the third set to help the Buckeyes force a fourth set, 28-26. In set 4, the Buckeyes couldn't keep it up, and the Wolverines went on to win set 4, 25-19. Now with an overall record of 11-10, Ohio State will play Purdue tonight at 7 p.m. in St. John Arena.
That's all we have for you this week on Lantern News Now.
Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Also check out the Lantern on Snapchat for game day coverage.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.